What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And on this episode, we continue looking at our series on the top 3 underrated free agents at each position. Today's position is that of shortstop. But before we get into it, if you haven't already done so, smash that subscribe button as it does a huge service for us here in growing this community. Let all of your baseball friends know that this is the channel to watch in 2022. And stick around to the end to find out how you can save on brand new Baseball Banter Broadcast merchandise. Let's get into it. Now, we begin this episode looking at my third underrated shortstop on the free agent market list, and to me, that is Jose Iglesias. I think that when you look at what Iglesias can provide, this is going to be a solid defensive shortstop with very little offense. But anything that you do get from this player offensively is going to be an added bonus to your team. I think what he is capable of providing a team is a solid defensive shortstop who's going to be able to hit at the lower end of the order, and while not providing a ton of offense, this is going to be a player that is going to give you near league average production. Now, again, this is going to be a list that has the underrated candidates on it. Jose Iglesias is one of the more well-known names in terms of the shortstops that are available on the market. Therefore, he makes my list here at number 3. And number 2 on my list of the underrated shortstops on this free agent market is that of Simmons. Now, let's be clear about this. Simmons is a defensive-only shortstop. Yes, that is a very kind of harsh statement to make, but it's been proven through the facts of his statistical analysis. When you look at his offensive numbers, especially in 2021, where he would play 131 games for the Minnesota Twins, he had an OPS plus, according to BaseballReference.com, of 57. League average being 100. So therefore, you're not going to get anything really from this player offensively. Why you bring in a guy like Simmons, it is for his defense. This is going to be a guy who is going to be able to maybe bridge the gap between your current shortstop situation and a future potential prospect stud. This is going to be a player that is only on your team to help elevate your infield defense. I think he has the ability to kind of nurture and mentor shortstops, third basemen, second basemen in the organization on the merits of being a defensive player. That being said, there's not going to be much that you're getting from this player offensively. So this is going to be somewhat of a potential liability pick for certain teams. If you're looking to contend, this may not be the player for you unless you already have a lineup that bolsters a ton of offense everywhere else. You'd be able to take the hit offensively by bringing on a guy like Simmons. That being said, this is going to be one of the better available shortstops because of his defensive prowess. Now, the number 1 name on my underrated shortstop free agents is that of Trevor Story. Now, in a similar way that we had with Anthony Rizzo being on the first baseman's underrated list, Trevor Story is here because there is going to be the bigger star-studded shortstop in Carlos Correa available on this same market. I think when you look at the fact that Trevor Story has been kind of thrown through rumors for the last several years, but never actually having a deal come to fruition, this is a player that you have to begin to question. Are his numbers a product of inflation of Coors Field, something that always gets asked when dealing with players that are playing for the Rockies? I also think that it's interesting that the Rockies did not make him an offer for an extension, but there are rumors that they are looking to potentially bring him back. We covered Trevor Story and his 5 potential landing spots here on the channel. I will leave links to that video down in the show notes below. But I also think that Trevor Story is a guy who could be looked at in different positions, not just that of shortstop. But given the fact that that is the position that he is listed at, we will look to him as the number 1 candidate here on this particular list. Again, there is an opportunity for Story to kind of go and do a few different things for several different clubs. He could play second, he could play short, third, or even center field, as some teams have been looking at him as. This is going to be a player that if he can be healthy, he can prove his ability outside of the higher elevation in Coors Field, could be a very underrated signing, given that you have the big market target of Carlos Correa sitting out there still looking for a deal. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your feelings on this down in the comment section below. Who is the best underrated shortstop on this free agent market? Is there a different name that you'd like to have seen on this list? or do you think that these are the right guys to make this list? Let me know your feelings on this down in the comment section below. As always, keep it locked into the entire GLMG family with We Sibs, the Granite Geek Show, and here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast. Now, for sticking around, as promised, this is how you're going to be able to get a discount on your brand new Baseball Banter Broadcast merchandise. Head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com, search for the product that you're most interested in, and use the promo code BANTER when you check out to get 5% off of your order. I want to thank you guys for tuning in here to the Baseball Banter Broadcast. Keep it locked in as I continue to bring you the latest news, notes, and my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.